As far as the social communication impairment that comes with autism spectrum disorder, you're going to find anywhere from the child that is unable to project any type of symbol. This could be a gesture or specific signs or words to communicate meaning, to those who are able to hold, for example, entire conversations, but may have significant difficulty understanding the social nuances of conversation and social communication. It's important to note as well that that bridge between preverbal and verbal communication, once it's crossed, it only marks the beginning of another journey where you teach the child gradually the more complex understanding and use of communication in more complex environments. So once a child is able to speak, it's not necessarily the end of a journey, but the beginning of a larger one. You could see it as that. In order to speed up the process through which a child crosses the bridge between preverbal and verbal communication, you can do a couple things. You can focus on their ability to understand, and you can do this by introducing structured exercises through which you teach your child to follow gradually more complex and involved verbal directions. So you can go from single step directions to multiple step directions. And you can also introduce exercises to teach your child to recognize vocabulary after you present, for example, a series of options and you speak one of the names out loud, training your child to understand what you say based on them pointing or handing you the object, for example. The second way you can strengthen crossing the bridge from preverbal to verbal communication is working on the necessary motor milestones or skills that are needed in order to produce the symbols or system of symbols you want your child to use. So if your child is, or you're planning for your child to start using sign language, you may have to check up on and start working as needed on their ability to produce and imitate gross motor actions, and then followed by fine motor, because you'll need that in order to produce signs. And you then would follow that with oral motor imitation skills and facial motor imitation skills so that you can produce speech. If you work on both understanding and expressing at the same time in this way, or the ability to express, then you can synthesize these into exercises where the child is now presented with the objects, now that they know the name of, but now they are presented visually and asked and modeled to use their motor skills to produce the symbol that corresponds to the concept, for example, the sign or the word. I've added reading resources that can help understand in a more intricate way the process of bridging the gap between preverbal and verbal communication, especially in young infants with autism spectrum disorder. If you have anything else that may help the audience understand this process, feel free to leave that in the comments. And see you next time.